Alright, well let's see what everything is. There's this little thing. Oh yeah, just the usual stuff by the looks of it. Boop.
I won't stop aiming higher.
Ooh, he is big air. He can just fly, that's his ability, just fly. Nice. Good.
I've outdone myself.
All these icons are taunting me. It's always just one item I'm missing. I could use the sensor, I guess, but I'm not at the point where I want to intentionally grind. Alright, we're up to 15% move speed. I want like 200% though. Yeah, his ability is mad hops. Link's everyone else has this goes like, oh, I've outdone myself, or oh, I've gotten stronger, or something. And Link's just like, ooh, the leveled up central. Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine, I guess. I hope the higher level upgrades are better. Cause I want like, here's the Master Sword 2. Yes, Link is 100% a cryptid. Some say himbo, I say cryptid.
I will not rest on my laurels.
Alright. So I'm training now, I guess. I'm curious how Revali is. Like, Mifa's the one I kept hearing about, but there must be more.
You call this surprising?
Wait, does Revali have a paraglider? I feel like he does. That feels kind of silly. I think I saw in a cutscene that he had a paraglider on him. But maybe not. That seems kind of dumb. Revali's thing is that he is speed. Well, I'm glad they got some Pixar representation. Wait, is Cars Pixar? No, it's not. What? No, it totally is. It just feels like it's not because it's garbage. Wow, okay, that's some crazy range. And he just keeps going too.
Fantastic!
He won't touch the ground by the looks of it. This is almost like way too easy to rack up these KOs. Neat. Oh, wait, did the music change? Or is that just part of it? Yeah, I did see the follow-up icon, but thanks for pointing it out. If you do notice stuff like that, be sure to mention it in case I don't notice.
Too easy. Stay.
Neat. Okay, so that's the follow-up. And I guess he makes these big gusts too. I imagine that helps with the flying. It is clever to have him give the bomb arrows because, you know, fire, wind gusts.
Watch and learn. You stand a chance. Cool down.
Hey. Okay, that's definitely the best ice one so far because you can actually hit stuff with it. Whoop. Okay, it takes a second to get in the air. He can hit the armor from basically anywhere though because of his range.
Cool down. Yet another victory. Take it. Be still.
Whoa, this dodge animation kind of looks insane. Owned. I'm looking forward to getting stuff besides Traveler's Bows and Traveler's Spears and stuff like that, though. Alright, what's the next little... Oh, spear specific, huh? Sure. Yeah, I would say Revali's fun. So far, I mean, honestly, there hasn't been a bad one so far. Link is kind of bland with just the sword, and the heavy sword stuff is cool, but the spheres is just Yeah, okay, gotta change my weapon. The spear is really cool. Urbosa's raw. Daruk has the fun bowling pin stuff. I don't know, it's kind of hard. It's like choosing your favorite child, honestly. Man, finally got some new pants. Hey, this goes pretty well with the Gerudo gear. It's got the right colors at least. Just need a better hat. No. I don't know if I should be just spamming cooking, but oh well. Yeah, so I wonder what other services there I still have to unlock. Because I really am not far into the game yet. Those are basically just tutorial quests to get each of the characters. And they've done that thing where they dress up the usual mechanics as like different types of in-universe things. Like it's a meditation place, that's the training room, that kind of thing. I wonder if this train of characters is going to get gigantic, or if they're going to get really dark. It's like as they die, they just disappear from the loading screen. So I can make my own Sonic Blade by just spamming this. Yeah, Spear is just cool looking. I don't even know if it's that effective, just... The multi-spear thing is just so satisfying in its basic existence. Like, honestly, just the basic concept of weapons extending beyond their basic reach is universally cool. Like, it's just such a universal, very common anime thing, but just in general, like the idea of like a person does a slash and then something far away cuts is cool. Like, I guess it's kind of an extension of that basic idea of kids wishing that ki was a real thing, where it's like if you punch your hands out just right, you're gonna fire a fireball. It's gonna happen. You have to say Hadouken when you do it, but if you do, it's going to work one day. Oh, I finally have enough to actually do every single one of these. Owned. That was kind of a waste. Seems like a universal thing when all of Link's first heavy moves are paraglider ones. I think that may be just a universal thing, but I haven't experimented thoroughly enough yet. These projectiles keep messing up my flow. Not a fan. Sword beams are 100% sword Hadokens. It's literally the exact same concept, except it can cut through things. Oh, oh. Link's gonna be hard to... You gotta really time it for this one, I find. It's weird, the timing for the actual Flurry Rush slow motion thing isn't very tight, but you have to be hitting the blade. It's very precise. That might have sounded weird, but basically you don't have to time it great, but you have to be almost hit by the blade. Otherwise it's not going to trigger. Do gotta say, they've gone really far out of their way to not show anything that would have had to have made a bunch of new assets for, like Castletown. I would like to actually see that. I'm sure it's a thing later. Breach of Demise, huh? Wait, what's the recommended level? Oh, probably can't bring Revali in. Oh, but I can just level him up. That is kind of pricey, but I haven't used my money for much anyways. Now let's swap out.
You have a lot to look forward to. You call this surprising?
It's interesting, because as far as I know, this kind of stuff is usually relegated to a side mode. Like, this is the most story-driven I've seen of any of the Nintendo Musos. Usually they're very chapter-like. So, you know, this game does confirm this painting of Link right here. This is definitely Link. People thought it was kind of weird because in the game, the long flowing hair is depicted as being red, which obviously is not what people think of when they... you think about Zelda and you think of a long-haired red-haired character, you're gonna probably think of Ganondorf. And then with Ganondorf being a big deal in Breath of the Wild 2, of course people started theorizing stuff, but no. Looks like it's just Link, and the art's just weird, I guess. Oh. So you can't bring the rods into side missions, I guess. That's odd. Yeah, Revali has all the things that I would expect to make him weak, but maybe he's not weak. It depends on how much they were inspired by Sonic Forces. No, that was way off. Darn it. Man, some of these attacks are so slow. It really throws me off. I know that's the point, but man.
Be still.
Yeah, I can only imagine that makes Link high tier, that he can just attack after his stasis thing. He doesn't have a canned attack he uses every time.
Another victory. Watch and learn. You stand a chance.
There's really there's a lot of tech you could get going with this game. Like, I saw a video of Zelda, who I haven't played as in a while. That's the thing, I'm worried about neglecting characters in this game. But I'll try and keep it to, like, whatever character feels relevant, I guess. But they were doing some crazy moving combos with her. Setting up all kinds of runes as, like, traps. And, like, running along them and rolling bombs at them and stuff like that. All kinds of stuff all at once. I have never really engaged or even really watched a high-level Muso, so if it gets to that point, it'll be interesting to see.
Yet another victory. My feathers.
He said, "My feathers." So even he knows that he's food. Yeah, no, the lag on his gust thing to get up there is deceptive. Takes longer than you'd think. I wonder, maybe there's a way to, like, combo it. Because it does do damage. Like, very light damage it seems, but it counts as a hit. Yeah, it doesn't make them flinch, but that's a big enemy, so they never flinch. Gee. Wait a second. Will this work? It looks like it did.
Yet another victory.
Alright, alright. One more.
My way.
I'm glad that even though you can open chests, they'll just open on their own eventually. Because it's kind of finicky.
Try me.
You have to, like, smack them.
Hey, my feathers.
What a good quote.
My way. You're finished.
So it looks like it takes a long time, but there is, you'll eventually reach the ground. You can't fly indefinitely. It's kind of a mediocre bird, I suppose. But don't tell him that. He'll start to feel bad.
Watch and learn. You stand a chance.
What a stalemate.
Hold. I can use this.
Man, the camera was not built for these special moves of his. Yeah, I think you just get materials, though, from doing this stuff. Like, I keep expecting, because the names sometimes sound really important, so I'm expecting some sort of notable upgrade from them, but that's not really happening so far. But I think there's a little bit more side stuff to do, and then we'll see what that new story mission's all about. Because that's just, it's just filler by nature. Oh yeah, what is this? Hyrule Outpost. This is all about two-handed. Wait, main enemies are Daruk. You get some meat for it. Hair width trial beginner. No healing items, one hit failure. Oh. Well, it's beginner. Actually, Revali seems like he'd be good for this.
You call this food surprising.
I'm gonna keep my distance. Granted, I'm not very used to him yet, but... I guess it makes sense that Daruk would be the heavy opponent, but I don't think there's been any missions yet where you fight against, well, like side missions where you fight against an ally. Not that that's an uncommon thing, especially in games like this, but, you know. Hair width trial is an interesting term. Like, I'm pretty sure the term that would be expected is the hair's breadth. You know, like you get by a hair's breadth. Hair's width, I guess maybe it's not supposed to be as extreme as a hair's. I don't know. Is breadth the opposite of width? Like, so it's the. I'm overthinking this and not equipped to be thinking about it. Wait, that's it? Nope. Okay, I can still attack. Oh, so I can do a slam when I'm in the air. Doesn't think it does much going by the effect, but who can say? Gee. I panicked. Could you tell by my voice? I panicked. My first thought was that they were going to use... Oh, there's a checkpoint? That's nice of them. My first thought was they were going to use arrows on me. Like, I feel like getting nicked by arrows is going to be the bane of this type of mission. Oh, wait, what can I use?
Be still.
Is that the wrong one? Darn. Only thing with using Revali is that this camera makes it kind of tricky to keep track of things, and if getting hit once is a big deal, then... Yeah. Yeah.
Be still.
breadth and width are synonyms? Okay, so yeah, that is a weird translation then. Or maybe it's what they said in the Japanese version? I don't know. We can't pretend to understand translators. They're on another plane of existence from us. Translators are why we have the One Piece rap. Oh, there's a new one? Yeah, so one-handed weapons don't have that guy. I guess they just knew that there was that the that weapon's kind of busted. You love the atmosphere of 10-2 Onyx? Yeah, it's a really great examination of what the fallout would be from the events of Final Fantasy X. Like, I think it's a really smart, cool game that doesn't get much credit because of some goofy stuff. I guess I should upgrade these, free up some space. I wonder if the Feathered Edge would have been a better thing to invest in. Because it's got that air damage, but Link's not super airborne. You love goofy shit? Well, good, because you're in for a lot of goofy shit with Final Fantasy X too. Like, there is some stuff that I unironically can't, like, say, oh yeah, that was good and the intent behind it is worth it. Like, you know, I feel bad for anyone was young and they got the new Final Fantasy game, and then their parents decided to walk in during the oddly sexual massage scene.
You did well.
You know what I said. Man, these load times be so much better on the Switch Pro, where it has a 1 TB SSD. Oh no, Celestial Cage, you're right. Massages are intimate, but uh, the massage in Final Fantasy X-2 is definitely an episode of today is the director's barely disguised fetish. And you know, considering there's a massage scene in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they wanted to make it more extreme but couldn't because it would have given the game an M rating, it honestly, someone on the team is a big fan. So that's interesting that the implication here seems to be that Link's like Hadoken energy sword techniques are actually just a thing that soldiers can do. Like this was taught to him by just some Hyrule grunts, I guess. You can see the appeal of oddly sexual massage. Well, that's good. That's a lot of people can, I think. Onyx, you better hope that doesn't happen, that the Switch Pro doesn't get announced soon, because you can't do that in November. Oh geez, I had to take out a lot of enemies actually. If a random little mook taught Link this, how did they lose? It's just basically that Ronin thing of like, listen, look at, there was a whole army of Links, and they all lost because the new person, their power level is 300 trillion, and before that it only went in the billions. Man, I'm way behind. I need way more KOs. This is not going smoothly. Only a little time remains. I'm not even half. Oh, there. I'm halfway there. Alright, I just need to use the big shield move by looks of things. Technique. This is the best move in the game. Like, all the other characters have so much style, but nothing beats just that. Oh man, this is gonna be down to the wire. No! No, out of my way! Oh! That guard had it out for me. You know, if Calamity Ganon did use a Doria from Smash Bros, then that makes sense that he beat everyone really easily. Yeah, this just seems like the best clearing move because it makes you go fast. God, these guards, they're just made to block you. Send me a big group so I can smack them with my special. Yeah, I keep forgetting Link has these secondary charge moves. They're so kind of weird to trigger. But I gotta use them more to maximize his potential. Yeah, I follow this up, and I got this. Yeah, and each one of these is different, even though you can run around with them charged. Ooh, that's a cool one. That's like a Skyward Sword kind of move. Oh yeah, wait. And I can do this too. Oh, I can do this too. Oh, and this. I just have, whenever I have tons and tons of tools to use, I really start to lose track. Boop. Get bonked with a sword. Ooh, that guy's got a heavy sword. Wait, this is supposed to be the light sword training. Ooh, that's cool. That actually opened up his stun gauge just by getting hit by it. Alright, no, I gotta be ignoring this. No! Link fought Demise in the final world? That's true, they did rip off Melody of Memory. I love how you can see the bodies of the knight hitting other knights, and that's enough to KO them. And like that also means that they're being like calculated as physics objects. They're hitting things like it's nuts that this game runs even at like the low frame rate it does, honestly. Like with these kind of visuals, and then like the enemies actually being physical objects even as they go flying. Like, yeah, they fade away right away, but still, there's so many on screen at a time. Okay, no, I gotta I think you have to beat them though to make more stuff spawn. Sometimes it just settles in how goofy all this stuff is. Okay, yeah, now that I know how to do these follow-ups, it's way more practical, though. Like, his moves on their own feel pretty bad, but I just wasn't understanding him properly, and I feel like that's going to be the case with a lot of these characters. Yeah, no, exactly. Link watching just, like, a pile of bodies that are presumably unconscious just, like, pile up. Everything about this interpretation of Link is like, Link's always had some cryptid energy, sure, but this is maximum cryptid Link. Like, this is what I want silent protagonists to be. Like, how this is how Yu Narukami is in Persona. At least how he's characterized outside of the actual game, since you just can choose his options in that. But like in the anime, for example, he's such a cryptid. There we go. All good. Master Sword's gonna be more fun? I can believe that. Frog. I cannot say frog the way that Spicy Pepsi, a noted Twitter user, does. Yeah, I know you want me to progress the story, but I've got a side mission. And this is the one where, with a weapon I know the gimmick to. Yeah, exactly. I think that cryptid silent protagonists are a great way to make them like a fun part of an otherwise defined party, where they're just these weirdos. Like, I don't think that drawing attention to a character being silent is particularly interesting and notable, but like when they're just like a weirdo who's like will eat a rock that is presented to them, that kind of stuff. And it's just like there's no way to quantify what's going through their head. They're just kind of there. Because, like, there's another side to this, which is that by their nature, a protagonist is going to be super competent. And so there's this weird thing where they're just these weirdos, but also they're getting shit done. Oh man, you can do the heavy follow-ups after a regular follow-up. This is such a busted moveset, honestly. Like, it's so simple to do, and you just have to maintain your health after. Like, there is a bit of risk and reward, so it might become more of a problem as the difficulty goes up, but it's so strong. I could probably even beat these generic guards, these like Hylian captains, just by using these strong attacks. Oh, you know, if I'm not wrong, I think this is actually... Yeah, no, it totally is. This is Kakariko Village. Or not Kakariko Village, what am I talking about? This is Lon Lon Ranch. And they specifically bothered to recreate how it looked in Ocarina of Time. Right here. Yeah, that's super neat. Because in Breath of the Wild, you can find Lon Lon Ranch, and it looks like how it's supposed to in Ocarina of Time, except that it's destroyed. And it'd be really cool if Breath of the Wild 2, because there's so many areas that are named after places from other Zelda games. I'd love it if now they're starting to be restored and they become actual, like, recreations. Like, not actually the place. They're not like Maybe Village isn't actually Maybe Village from Ocarina or from Link's Awakening, but it looks like Maybe Village. Yeah, free Calamity assets, they're totally a thing. Like, you can see a little bit of Castletown in the cutscenes. Well, those were in Breath of the Wild too, I guess, but I'm very confident that the reason why is because these are assets that are going to be used in Breath of the Wild too. Like, they're going to have more developed towns and lots of ruins are going to be restored and stuff like that, even though odds are not much time has passed. I mean, to be fair, there is a side quest in Breath of the Wild where you restore a town, and that doesn't really seem to take much time at all, so the precedent has been set. Oh, this is totally even the same area where you train Epona. You jump on these fences, and then Luigi traps you. Well, sure was a lot easier than the short sword training. Oh, Daruk. Okay, never mind. I got overconfident. Just get shredded. Oh, he's gonna be super easy to counter, honestly. I'm sure that Sidon Teba, what are the other ones even called? I never remember the Goron guy, Yunobo, I think. But yeah, I'm sure all of them are going to be in Breath of the Wild 2 in some capacity. Unless they're going to pull a huge swerve and it's like, actually, Link fell into a pit and now he's in some other dimension. Alright, we're all set. Is that all the side stuff? Oh no, it's not. Oh, about time we got anti-ice training. And what's this?
I won't stop aiming higher.
Neat. I wonder if his like ground stuff just never gets upgraded.
I'll do all I can.
Right, Riju. Yeah. Unfortunately for Riju, she's way too huge of a downgrade from Urbosa to even be remembered. Like, man, Breath of the Wild to some people is a 10 out of 10, so it could have been an 11 out of 10 for them if they just had the actual cool Guardians. I keep calling them Guardians. Champions. Just had them be the main focus instead of the new ones that are just a side on downgrades. Unobo is real weak, yeah. Like, he is probably a bigger downgrade than... Well, no, the thing is, I don't think Riju is a downgrade. Well, okay, she's a downgrade, but only because Urbosa is a really high tier. It's like saying, oh, we went from, I don't know, you went from a really good game to something that is like fantastic. It's like saying, oh, you went from Sonic 3 and Knuckles to Sonic Rush. Sonic Rush is still great, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So yeah, what I'm saying is that Urbosa is the Sonic 3 and Knuckles of the Zelda franchise. The length of the iframes from there.
One, despite the odds.
Yeah, no, exactly. The game would be a 12 out of 10 if the story... Like, it's... I think I said this on a previous stream, but they're lucky that Breath of the Wild is as good of a game as it is because the marketing was so misleading. They tried to pretend there was a story when there was no story. Like, some people get really upset at me saying this, but as far as I'm concerned, Breath of the Wild's ending is just a slightly retooled, higher definition version of Zelda 1's ending, where it says, "Congratulations, Link, you are the hero of Hyrule." No, da. Right, I keep forgetting I can do this. Get owned. Yeah, I think that 2 is going to definitely be more story focused, and also, yeah, like, the thing is that Nintendo does a lot of things bad, but one thing they're pretty consistent about is when they make a direct sequel to something, they address a lot of the problems people had. Like, they really go out of their way to, like, because the thing about Nintendo stuff is that when they get reviews and such, you can pretty much always attach an extra point or two just for being a Nintendo game, particularly Zelda or Mario. But Nintendo doesn't seem to like look at that and go, yeah, we can be complacent, which is cool. Like they don't look at people saying that Breath of the Wild is flawless and say yeah, it's perfect, we don't need to go any further, we've done all we can. they're content to just, they're not content, I mean, to, like, I guess what I'm saying is that the one thing Nintendo cares about is really like trying with gameplay. So they're going to do interesting new stuff, and they're going to try and address problems with Breath of the Wild, even though the fan base in general is not very receptive to that concept. Ooh, gotta pay attention to the flowers, because those come up a lot with the Zelda quests, and I haven't really gotten much in terms of her upgrades. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about Breath of the Wild 2 in general, because I think that you can, like, Breath of the Wild is pretty great, I think. It gets worse the longer you play it, but there's so much stuff that's barely been even touched upon too. Like, up until recently, I thought there was no caves in this game. In Breath of the Wild, I should say. It turns out there are caves, and there's like bats and mining carts and stuff in it, but it's beneath Hyrule, and I just never went there. Or beneath Hyrule Castle. Because I'm one of the people that didn't end up doing a whole lot in Hyrule Castle because I was already super powerful, and most of the stuff you can find in there is just good weapons. And that's super disposable and not really worth it. So I ended up just thinking, oh, I'm not really going to get anything meaningful out of this, so I unfortunately didn't look very far into it, and I missed things like Zelda's journal and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's caves in Breath of the Wild, but just beneath Hyrule Castle. Hyrule Castle has so much detail and effort put into it, but it's such a disposable location because most people are going to play the game like a video game and not just skip right to Hyrule Castle. I mean, being optimistic about Nintendo as a company is all about picking which things to focus on, because as a company, they're going to make a lot of terrible decisions, and I would never trust Nintendo, at least in any way that Miyamoto is involved, to make a consistently good story. Because they have lots of talented writers, but they have a very strong, like, no, it's all about the gameplay mentality. But the thing is that because it's all about the gameplay, you can, they'll treat it like a science. They'll put a lot of research and effort into making creative experiences like that. Lots of the time, you'll find that Nintendo games are entirely focused around one specific idea, often to their detriment. Like, if it's not a mainline game, it'll become like, because like Breath of the Wild has its stuff, like it's an open world game, the environment's interactive, that kind of stuff. But when you get into the spin-offs, you start getting Triforce Heroes, where it's like Link can change outfits. So this is the adventure of Link in the Fashion Kingdom, where he fights the evil fashion person so that they can all dress up how they want to, or something like that. And also, yeah, speaking of Korok seeds, whoever decided that Korok seeds count towards your completion percentage in an even way to all other content is deranged. They are a horrible, vile person who has relegated the majority of people to having like 20% complete save files in Breath of the Wild because there are like 900 Korok seeds and they all count towards completion. It's such a sinister move. I don't know how they thought that was okay. Anyways, unfortunately we didn't make it to the new content. The story has yet to progress. And I gotta call it for the night. That's my stream done for today. But thanks to all of you for watching. I appreciate it a lot. I'll see you soon, hopefully.